Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 77, and today we will be jumping into another gauntlet. And so, as with the previous gauntlet, that's what we did in the last video, I feel like the meta is too wide open at this point to really try and drill down a specific lineup and try to get a win in these things. And we kind of noticed in gauntlets themselves, you don't really run into the kind of top of the meta decks that you would see in something like seasonals or at the top of the ladder. And so, as far as these are concerned, I just kind of like to bring a lineup of good decks. But the kind of caveat to that these days is I still really like this idea of bringing decks that are either good with overwhelms, good with rallies, or good with elusives. This is a format that's kind of shaped up to be kind of like a go wide with a bunch of dudes on board with just a bunch of stats, kind of the premier-ish control decks we used to see before the World Walker came out, were these kind of Ezreal damaged-based control decks like the Tri-Beam decks, or the AoE heavy decks coming from Trundlemere, to the Trundlemere ramp deck. And so those I don't feel like are quite as good anymore. We're seeing a lot of Bard based decks, and what seems to be kind of at the top of the meta right now, this deck right here in front of you, the kind of Encroaching Mists plus Legion Deserter style deck. And so lots of decks these days are really good at putting a bunch of stats on board, and then really good it going wide. And so, to that end, I really like to push for the rallies. In the current meta, the overwhelms are a bit of a stretch. It can be kind of tough to slam in enough damage. If your opponent's units are gigantic, you can't really get those nice overwhelm attacks in. You're really looking to beat up on small Bandle City units or something. And I'm not quite sure if the elusives deck lives out there, but we are playing some elusives in our deck number 2 with the Ionia and Illaoi. And so to run through the decks here real quick, I do prefer to run these gauntlets with decks that I've already made individual guides for. I don't have the opportunity to do that right when the set comes out, but you should be seeing some of these in the upcoming weeks. And so to just kind of like run through these decks real quick, the Viego deck here is centered on using the Encroaching Mist. The Encroaching Mists have the thing to where the Encroaching Mist everywhere get +1/+1. That works to make these gigantic Legion Deserters. And so you have this combo of Viego, Camaveran Soldier, and Invasive Hydrovine all generating the Encroaching Mists, and then you have it's very easy to have like a 12 or 13 attack Legion Deserter. Then, as we hopefully get our opponents down to like 10 or so, if we haven't just like crushed them with this overwhelming amount of card advantage from the Encroaching Mists, then we do have the atrocities to go over top of whatever our opponent is doing. And so, very kind of like mid-rangey combo kind of deck. That's not something that we would really think of coming from like a World of Magic or a World of Hearthstone, but it does have like a lot of these mid-gamey, engine-y kind of themes. We're trying to stall a bit until we can get 6 or 7 mists on the board. And then in the event that that doesn't work, we just have the, hey, I'm going to go face with Atrocity. And so deck number 2, this is the Illaoi deck we did in the previous video. I had quite a bit of fun with this, and I liked it quite a bit. It has all of the tools that I think we need in these formats. We're playing Ghost for the elusives, we're playing Blood in the Water for the rallies, and then the idea with this is we'll eventually just get some kind of massive attack, either with Illaoi or with the Tentacle. We should be able to ghost it through, and if that's not enough, then we have the rally to try and finish off the game. Pretty successful deck in the previous video. Lots of success in protecting our Illaois and protecting our Tentacles with the likes of Syncopate and Deny. And so good stuff here. Big fan of it. And then the last deck we're bringing today, we're just calling this one Sea Monster, right? I don't really feel like there's a necessity or a desire to play Maokai anymore. We picked up some additional cards in the World Walker set to make things a little bit easier here. We're including 2 Megatusk, and then we're playing 3 copies of Undergrowth. And so Undergrowth lives in 2 of our archetypes here today. But then, as I had always talked about with these style of decks where we're just putting mountains and mountains of stats on the board, it's pretty tough to deal damage to your opponent outside of the Abyssal Eye. They tend to be able to do some amount of blocking onto your sea monsters to not just immediately die, and that's where Blood in the Water comes in. We aren't playing atrocities anymore, we're just playing Blood in the Water as a more general kind of catch-all game ender. And so, with that being that, those are the 3 decks we'll be doing battle with today. But you all know what we have to do before we get in. The only reason we ever win any games is because we pay the pay-to-win price. And so today, it looks like Watchful Idol will be the pay-to-win winner, getting a little bit premium. Very strong, very strong. If we play it on turn 1, and then it generates the premium tentacle, that should generate us at least 2 or 3 wins on the day. I don't know how you all get things done, but those premium tentacles are gotta be where the business is. All right, so where are my stars at? It allow with deny, the dessert package, and sea monster. Let's get to battle. Okay. I was trying to see how those. I was remembering how I clicked those. I clicked the Illaoi with deny deck first, and it didn't end up over on the left. It's like we kind of ran into this thing to where our opponents tend to just ban the deck on the left, and I wanted to see if that mattered with how this goes. But given this kind of lineup here, I feel pretty comfortable going against Lurk with basically all of this. We aren't like super strong to Lurk, but I think we could manage it with our decks that have the drain style cards in it. I'm really looking to just ban out the Viego deck, and then let the sea monsters is the one I'm more than happy to kind of play a mirror with, even though it feels kind of high rolly. Maybe we should just go ahead and get rid of this. Get rid of the Lurk deck. I'm like pretty okay with playing a couple of mirror matches if that's what it comes down to, and I don't think Illaoi is going to line up with the Lurk deck very well. So let's just go ahead and take that one out. All right, we only get 2 champions today. We only get 2 champions. We only get Illaoi. We only get Nautilus. And as we did with the previous one, I just started with Illaoi every time. I was pretty happy with how that turned out. Okay, let's get to it. Ooh, we got the premium Watchful Idol right from the start. I don't know if this game's possible to lose. I don't know if it's possible. The cards we picked up aren't super strong, but again, the Syncopate is a pretty good trick here. They don't have a lot of early game interactivity here, so we should get a good opportunity to actually build up the tentacles and build up the Illaoi. Not really happy about drawing a Blood in the Water. You never want this in your opening hand, but otherwise it's pretty reasonable. Can't wait till we just hit somebody for a point of damage to face with the Blood in the Water. You get to do the 1 to anything. Get to take him down with some style. All about it. The Eye, not a good draw either. We picked up all of our top end here in this early game. Little unfortunate, but I think we'll be okay. All the Watchful Idols. Nice. Whoa, coming at us with Mist Wraiths. I tried this. Tried the Everywhere deck with the Mist Wraiths. I just wasn't quite as happy with it as I was with the Encroaching Mists. It's a little bit dangerous when you're not picking up the health off of it. I was worried about Arisen Mists. It will be okay. I'm gonna just give up our Watchful Idol here, but that's not exactly how I was hoping this went. But the thing with the Risen Mists Mist Wraith style package was it lets us play with the that new card to where you get to revive your strongest ally and then give your opponent's units -1 attack. That's what I was mainly interested in doing with it, but all right. So we'll take some damage here. Let's go ahead and get the Fearsomes off of the board. These are a little bit scarier than the Camaveran Soldier. I'm not entirely sure if this guy would be playing the thing that lets you do that, playing the Revive card, but if he's playing the Revive card, we'd probably rather kill the Camaveran Soldier. Alright, let's get some booms in here. This should be good enough to flip Illaoi. Sure. Do we just win the game here? Huh. He's only got 3 mana. There's not a ton that he can do. Play something irrelevant, dude. Let's get this like 20 attack Illaoi here. Alright, alright. Good stuff. 1 to face. GG. It is a nice 20 piece nugget right to the face. Feels good. Hope you had fun with that one. Rip. God, that's so fun. This is such a sweet deck. All right, on to the next one. Maybe it does work out sometimes when you just have the rally right in your opener. Now the thing to kind of take note of with that is a lot of decks are playing the Buru War Leader, whatever that dude's called, the 1-cost thing or the 3-cost thing that lets a 1-attack unit rally. That's not what would have worked there. So with this, I'm usually like amped to have all of the toss-centric package. I think we can hang on to this. What tends to matter quite a bit in the Sea Monsters mirror match is just who hits deep and how fast. And starting off with like the interactive toss package is a lot better than starting off with like jettisons or starting off with undergrowths. And so I think it's okay. Been cool to have a sea scarab, but sure. Feels like we're behind now. Feels like we're behind. And Maokai. Sure. He shouldn't be able to get the dude down this turn. I don't think we have to worry about too much here. I'm kind of curious if we want to just go ahead and salvage. 4 will take us down to 22. It's probably a little preemptive for that. I think we need to keep this mana backed up for Vengeance. We don't necessarily have to attack this turn, right? If we want to open, it's kind of okay, but then the idea is he's just going to be dropping a sapling this turn. I think this is fine. It's a little dangerous here. I would love... double Sea Scarab was brutal. I would love to be able to Devour of the Depths one of these Sea Scarabs, but it's very easy for them to have like a Vile Feast or have a Undergrowth to weaken up the Devourer. A little tougher for him to have Undergrowth since he's played one and milled one at this point, but definitely something to have to worry about. Oh. He's down 2 Vile Feasts and he's down... 2 Undergrowths, right? I don't know if the deck tracker can follow all that. And so not a lot of potential for him to interact with this Devourer of the Depths now. I'm gonna go for it. Excellent. Not bad. The most powerful card in the mirror. Getting a little closer. Is he deep now? He should be pretty close to deep after this. We'll be deep on the next turn. We've got a couple cards to go. A little too late on the Sea Scarabs.
We'll talk through that gullet.
Gee, this is kind of the reason why I was a little bit hesitant to lead the sea monsters up. Like it's a tough space, right? Leaving up what is at least like looking at the source. You're depending on the source you're looking at. The Viego deck is kind of number one in the format. I feel at least a little bit better, in that he was playing Mist Wraiths, but that Sea Monsters mirror match can be incredibly high rolly. I mean, I guess part of that's on us. We could have just mulliganed away those the Sea Scarabs, like if or the whatever they're called. Let's actually hang on to this. We could have mulliganed away those tossed dudes. That like if we were playing against like pirates or something, maybe we should have gotten rid of them in the mirror. Good to just bank for a bit. I'll Vile Feast to Mist Wraith if he plays it. Time to go on the offensive. But otherwise, there's not a lot of great targets for Vile Feast in this matchup. Beautiful. Okay, that looks good to me. We'll get our Jawl Hunter's Bro up in action here. See if we can't get a good combat with the Camaveran Soldier. We're ready next turn to try and take down the Mist Wraith with a Vile Feast. I think I'm pretty good and well with all of this. And the old Vigeo. Don't have a removal spell for him at the moment. We can block, but he gets pretty scary pretty quick. Do your thing, Mega Tusk. All right, get us some of that good stuff off the top. What's Viego seen? He's only seen five damages die. There's a big dude. No denying that. All right, little scary coming out of him. Gotta hit deep quick here. I don't think we're gonna be able to hit it fast enough, but we'll see. We'll see. This would be pretty good for us if he doesn't open, but it's so unfortunate now. If the Legion Deserter dies, it just levels up the Viego. I think we're kind of stuck here. Away from deep. We have 7 toss in hand. We can do it burst speed. Well, I guess we can 3, 6, 10. We can burst into or fast spell into deep this turn. We have the mana for all this, right? 3, 6, 7. Okay. We can trade one of our 3-cost spells here for the Wanderer if we want to. The question is, do we want to actually? Well, we can just like block Viego. I think this is fine. So we can use a block with the Wanderer plus the Undergrowth to try and take Viego down. He's not going to attack with him, huh? Like, we're just like dead to atrocity, right? Can we accept that there's like nothing we can do about atrocity hitting us? Because we can switch to trying to take him down with the shipwreck hoarder, but I don't want him to actually die. I think it might be okay if he dies next turn, though. Okay, yeah, we're just never beating atrocity. I think this is fine. Well, we can beat it, but we have to draw our we have to draw our vengeance. Heal breaker, interesting. Viego's gonna flip either way. I think we're just too far out. We can try. Treasure trove is always the way just to come out and win a game, though. I. Let's see what happens. How many cards we got? 1, 2. We can draw all 5 off of this thing. All right. Give me something good, game. Something ridiculous, please. Hydrovine's pretty good, but the rest of this stuff's probably not going to do it for us. The fuck did Scion come from? What? Oh, he was just straight up playing Scion. I thought he was playing Vigeo and someone else. Okay. Sure. Whew, that was a tough set of games for the sea monsters. Makes me wonder how well I think of them in this set of formats. It's the interactivity is pretty low, and so it's a little tough to me. But with these, I'm reasonably fine with most of this. I'm curious what Mono Bard is. That feels like that's going to be some kind of elusives deck. Then the other ones are kind of fine. I don't care about Zillion Zerat. That's going to be landmarks. We should probably crush that with everything. He does have the Mono Viego as well, but I think Mono Viego is a little bit less scary than the Legion Deserter deck. The Legion Deserter deck just has so many more threats coming from the Deserter. Like, we can kind of deal with an invasive Hydrovine, but we have like having that additional gigantic threat is kind of problematic. Maybe we should just be vanning Viego every time. But I worry about this being like a Bard elusives, which is not going to be great for a lot of the decks we're bringing. But maybe that's where we're at. Maybe we should just be banning Viego and seeing how bad it goes with the sea monsters. I think this was a strategy we kind of took in the past. Whenever, like, I would like to get to play the. I would like to get to play the Illaoi deck every time, but if it gets banned, I think we're just going to have to bring Sea Monsters twice. It feels like Sea Monsters is kind of the weak link in some of these matches. Going to start dropping Green Glade duos on us, and we're not going to be happy with this. Nautilus is. I was hoping we could draw a bunch of Nautilus right at the start. What you got for us? At least we picked up the Scarab. Pretty good. I would think this guy's interactivity. Well, I mean, he's playing Ionia. He should have access to bounce spells, and it's just like it doesn't strike me as a deck that wants to be playing like denies. It strikes me as he's going to be playing elusives. Okay. Not super worried about this Bard hit. I'm going to just go ahead and take it and see if we can't find something a little bit better a turn or two from now. Give me them cheap sea monsters. Okay. Ready to party now. Oh yeah, 11 away from deep. I don't think this will be successful all the time. Like, he can have Denies, or he can have Will of Ionias or whatever, but it's nothing else to do, and it's not that big of a mana investment. Okay. $11 away. Sure. I guess we're drawing blood in the water next turn. Did you see the lurk notification go off? Interesting. Okay. It's kind of tempting to just jettison it away, but might be useful. Seems positive. Sure. What are we down to? 8 away from deep? We can get our Nautilus going next turn. Get all of our Nautiluses going. Sure. The battle of the stats. Let's see who gets the most stats on board. Let's see. I'll feel pretty decent about this if we get to play Devourer of the Depths. If he has like a... I mean, it's like even if he has an immediate bounce spell here, it's not horrible for us. Oh. +8? Maybe it is horrible. That was not nearly as good as I was hoping for us. Alright, so he's going to get a pair of good blocks, but other than that, we're okay. And the next turn's one of these weird spots to where we could get pretty good Riptides. We can actually shove some of this stuff to the bottom of his deck. Okay. Got him to 4. Alright, so how do we feel with this? If we want to blood in the water, then we can't play these Riptides. And I think I kind of want to like Riptide both Bard and Meduli, and then just like try and take him down next turn. But, I mean, this Esmuth is pretty big as well. We might just be like statted out of this game at this point. We can't, I guess that's the opposite side of the equation here, is we can just leave Bard and Meduli on the board and then try and trade our Sea Scarabs for them. And so maybe we just look to Riptide the Esmuth away and then see if he gets involved with Bard and Meduli. Okay.
These are dangerous lands.
Interesting. Here he comes. Sad face. I don't know. This doesn't feel very good. I don't know, man. I don't know. Feels like we should be a lot closer to victory. We should be safe to add a dude to the board. He's going to get the opportunity to add something else, but his something else should pretty much die to all of our units. Right, he's going to have to start blocking with Bard and stuff. They should die. Then we can get our lurk going. If he's not careful, we're going to kill him with Nautilus because he's fearsome. Okay. I think we're close. No, he can block Nautilus with Bard. That's annoying and awkward. We're not gonna deck ourselves, are we? I think we're safe. We've got the 2 Nautiluses in our deck. We can't deck ourselves here. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna have empty boards at the end of the day. I feel like that's decent for us. It's like if he doesn't draw a unit, then he's hurting really bad next turn. We got the lethal with the blood in the water now. I knew we were gonna get one. I knew it. I knew it. Oh no, my emotes are gonna be messed up though, aren't they? Oh Jesus, we fucked this up. We don't deserve it. I guess we'll use this one. This is appropriate for a cupcake, but yeah, I can't believe we did that. Can't believe it. Oh, can't even change our loadout at this point? F. F. All right, bringing the landmarks at us. Interesting. All right, let's just hang on to Elise. We'll look for some of our other cheaper stuff. I don't think we're the aggro here, but I would like to have our smaller spider package here at the beginning of the game. Okay. And if he drops a Ruin Runner, I think we'll just pass. Inventive Chemist is great. Right, we have the Vile Feast to deal with a lot of these 1 health Shurima landmarky style units, and so if we just get to like play Elise and block, that's completely fine. We can Vile Feast the Ruin Runner and then still be pretty happy with our board. Okay, let's just not die. Looks good. Sure thing, bro. Absolutely. You fought valiantly, Elise. Now, it is like a real question if we want to actually Vile Feast this Rockhopper when we have all of these Ravenous Flux in our hand. I don't think we do. I'm much more interested in just, say, like killing a Zerath than dealing with the Rockhopper. Maybe things change now with this draw. It does. Okay, I feel pretty good about this. Now we get to drop the Viego next turn with the Vile Feast mana and such. I like it. champion is so much smaller than ours.
KPIs depending on me.
Beautiful. I mean, this just has to feel horrible for him, right? This is a pretty tough thing to deal with in the Viego. I mean, we could even look to just say Vile Feast to Spiderling to get the things going. This is fine. Not super worried about attacking with him at this point. Yeah, that's good. I was thinking if we wanted to play Despair, I don't care enough about Zillion to want to play it. It's like if he drops a Zerath, we'll be pretty happy to play the Despair. May not even need to. He's only got 5 health. Here come the flocks. Crow it up, bruh. some Game of Thrones reference. Get these 3-eyed ravens coming at you. Boom. Whatever this emote is, we'll use that one. Base palm. Yeah, I gotta fix this. This is sad and brutal. What up, Katarina? This is the key to the deck. Not enough Katarina decks out there.
I know what lurks in the shadows.
Double time bomb. Sure.
If it's made of sand, I can write.
All right, I think we're good. They can have some annoying stuff here, but they should really struggle with the Katarina. Give them a chance to play some cards and do some meaningless predicts, and we'll take this down in short order.
This might hurt.
Let's get them, squad.
For Noxus. Hush now.
What now?
It's kind of lame. Something a lame person would do. But he's out of mana at this point. That's how you get him, Cat. Just send it straight to the face place.
Surrender to me. All will be consumed by the black mist.
Rip it.
A bite was all it took.
All right, GG. On to the next one. Oh, no. Ooh, that was close. That was close. We almost messed that right up. So let's see here. How do we fix this? The emotes. Where's the emote button? Got to get the board. Where's Arcade? That's what we've been using. Guardians, we need the cat. Card back, we use fist bump. Emotes. All right. I don't know if there's any new good ones in here. I've been looking to replace some of these, but gotta get the cupcake. Heartbreaker is here, locked into Echo. It's the Sad Poro one that I'm not real certain on what the proper one to use is. I've been using Selfies because that's the most annoying one there is. But whew, other than that, we got the important ones ready to go. Game on. That was close. That was close. I'm surprised we won. I'm surprised we won any games without the proper loadout. The premium cards can only take you so far. You have to have the right loadout for the rest of the games, for the rest of the luck that you need. People not playing Gauntlet today. Like, I wonder how, like, the worst case scenario and how long you would have to wait for one of these is, and like, would you be willing to wait like 2 and 3 and 4 minutes? I'm not sure. Not sure. But here, I'll let him play Tom Kench. I don't care about that. I think I just want to ban out the Nautilus. I mean, it's so brutal, right? It feels like such a good matchup for all of our decks. I just don't want to get stuck playing the mirror match. But maybe we do leave it and just take out Jace Victor. I don't think like Jace Victor damaged based removal kind of thing is something that ever scares me though. Huh. Lysandra, Tom Kench, and Trundle. Oh. Sometimes that's all it takes. You just gotta you just gotta stop and think about it for a while, and then nobody wants to play against it. And so, I mean, interesting. All right, with here, I'm not sure how Scout stands against all these decks. Like, I'm super happy to play against the Sun Disk with any of these. We have the tools to get around it. We have the rallies in every deck. The Scouts seem a little bit scarier than the Frozen Thrall deck. But I can't quite remember how the matchups line up for Scouts. Maybe we do just ban out the Lysandra Talia. It has a much better like late game than we can deal with. Like the difference between the late game of Lysandra Talia and Azir is it doesn't Azir doesn't interact as well. Like the Lysandra deck has lots of like AoE kind of things that mess with some of the stuff we're trying to do. But it's tough. I feel like we probably maybe should have just banned Scouts. But I don't know. I feel reasonable about being able to beat the Sun Disk twice. Okay, we just gotta come out the gates as quick as we can. I don't think we want Undergrowth here. Let's take the card cheapeners and the toss units we can get going. Looks fine. Aggro. Uh-oh, we lost a rally, though. That's a little unfortunate. Still have one more, but that's kind of our big and key way to close out these games. The Sun Disk is exceptionally good at just, like, blocking your stuff forever. And so I was counting on getting our wins through the rally. Okay.
With the power of time, the possibilities are endless. See what I've learned?
All right. Gotta get this Dead Bloom Wanderer down. I'd prefer to just have a Sea Scarab, but that's not the way you get to do it. Would you rather just go for it? I'm kind of okay with this. Still lets us just drop Mega Tusk next turn. Lets us get our sea monsters online a little bit quicker.
Do not see what is, see what will be.
What you got for us? I'm wanting to play the Abyssal Eye plus Vile Feast, but if we have to Mega Tusk plus something else, I'm okay with that.
See how handsome I do? Shurima,
Sure.
Emperor has returned.
Our city is in your care. You and ours.
Oh, this is so dangerous getting the Azir involved.
The order is given.
And say if he like came in with the Azir, then we got to hook him down next turn. Very real chance we would get to stop him from flipping. Wasn't the case. Wasn't how that played out, but we had the options to do it. I'd really prefer to just start tossing now. Let's hit. If he has a quicksand, we can at least interact with this one. But I want to get the card draw and see if we can't hit something relevant. 26. Fairly far away from deep. Ugh. This is a very aggressive way to be playing these champions out. Okay, I think we can pass. I'm fine to just let these things hang out. This does stop him from playing cards like the thing that just draws the thing that draws a card and puts 2 landmarks on the board. Not something I really want to deal with right now. I mean, what's this? 7 and take us to 9? It's pretty tempting to just block the Sand Soldier, but I think we're actually going to be getting involved in the ground game here, so we can let him clear out his board a little bit. How far away are we? 7 cards. So we should be able to just get Nautilus down this turn. Oh, he's not an actual sea monster. Oops. Not bad. So we just need to salvage then. Does take us away from playing a Jal Hunters, but I think this will be okay. Like, the Zerath isn't actually that close to flipping. He needs a lot more landmarks on board. Neither of these are particularly close. Like, that would be the problem now, is if he had the draw card plus 2 landmarks thing, but I don't think that's where he's at. All right. Let's get the squad down. Say what up to my big bros. But see, this is what I'm always talking about with the rallies, though, right? If he just had like regular dudes on board, then he would be like able to just stop all the damage that we have this turn, and then potentially pop off the Sun Disk on the following turn. And so it's a little scary in a lot of ways playing against this, but I don't think he's presented enough on board to make me too worried. Especially when we get to interact with his champions now. I'll only be attacking with Nautilus here. I don't want him clearing out these other units. Well, there's flip number 1. Little scary, little scary. I think the Zerath will only be up at like 2 or 3 though. Got your 1 card on top. Yeah, he needs 2 landmarks for Zerath. All right, we should be good. I'm gonna knock him away with the Riptide. Could just vengeance him, I guess. However one wants to go about it. Interesting. Sure. This feels very spewy. Alright, we're good. We're going to mark this one a W. Nice. On to the next round. So, man, it's still a little toasty in here. A little hot. I could feel myself getting sweaty. A little shiny on here. I did some more adulting today. I went and installed a thermostat. Pretty easy to do if you ever have to do that on yourself. I had like the HVAC guy kind of on order. Sentiment. It's like the worst time for your air conditioner to go out. Like, well, it could be worse because it gets hotter than dick out here in Kansas City. It's just very easy for the heat index to like creep up over 100. I don't know why anybody decided to live in this fucking place. It's it's super hot out here in the summers. And at any rate, it started to go out. Like I didn't think our air conditioner went out. It was all fairly new. I think it was just the thermostat. Like the air conditioner was actually, it's like a year old, but the thermostat looks like it was probably from like the 90s or something, and so I'm sure it had a good run. It's just not really kicking it anymore. And so I messaged them, but with it being like Memorial Day weekend out here, I suspected that I wasn't going to hear back from them until Tuesday. So like all day Saturday, all day Sunday, all day Monday, into Tuesday without the AC. It's going to be kind of shitty. But I think we got through it. Oh, this is tough. Like I don't feel like we need to bank here, but I don't want this Broadwing on the board. Let's just go ahead and drop the soldier. Like he would feel better to play next turn, and we could maybe get some usage out of the encroaching mist. But if he starts playing dudes, we still have the Arachnoid Sentry to shut down some of this stuff here. But no, got it nice and replaced. I was very happy with my craftsmanship, my hard work and sweat. Do we even care about him attacking with the Sentry? Like, we're not going to Spirit Leech this turn. That's a given. It's just if we Sentry the Island Navigator, he gets the Broadwing hook onto our Sentry, which I'm not super amped about. Let's just come in and lock up the Broadwing, and then we still have good blocks onto the Navigator. But it did get me thinking with all of the heat and everything. The dudes will say things are hotter than balls, hotter than dick, hotter than ass, sweating my balls off, sweating my dick off, sweating my ass off. All very common dude phrases. I was curious what the ladies sweat off. I don't know. I've never asked what a lady sweats off. If it's I can't imagine you would sweat your vagina off. That just doesn't sound right. And so I'm sure they could sweat their ass off. Maybe it's a boob thing. I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. Maybe I'll ask the wife later. I've never heard such foul terminology come out of her, and so maybe she can enlighten me though. You gotta sweat something off though, right? Especially out here in Kansas City. All right. Well, the Scouts matchup is going okay. This was the one that I was ultimately fairly worried about, but I think things are going just fine. Let's just bank this mana. Overbanking one's not a big deal. And Viego, beautiful. Wonder if Viego has ever sweat his balls off. I don't know, man. Brothers hit the gym. He's sweat a day or two in his life, unless he's some kind of vampire. I don't know if vampires sweat. Not sure on the outcomes of that. Man, he's got the he's got the chiseled beach look though. All right, not fallen just yet, Viego. Not just yet. Okay. Now the magic can begin to happen. I think I would rather have the soldier. It's like I don't know, the Hydrovine is like just a quick and easy way to end this. It's like we can play the Hydrovine and just pass, if that's what it comes down to. Like if opponent just passes here, I'm more than happy just to pass it back. But I think we should get attacks with Hydrovine and the Mist, and then if we lose out on Viego, it's not the end of the world. Will we even bother? Cithria is not that scary.
Stand for what's right.
Okay.
Valor.
I'm feeling good about this. No worries from FTP Bust now. have so much time. I don't think we were too worried about Quinn. She can flip this turn, but it's like, who even cares? We might end up playing Despair on her. Have to see what opponent intends to do. Like even through this, like the Despair for 6 doesn't feel that bad. We can wait though. We have the Disintegrate in hand, so if he wants to attack, we can just Disintegrate and Encroaching Mists. Like, I'm not worried about any of this. Enjoy. Opponent says the same. GG.
Without her, there is only darkness.
All right. I think we made our way into that final battle. Sweated our way through it. Here we go. Here we go. That was much easier once we set our loadout, though. I'm telling you all think this is all about play skill. I'm actually horrible at this game. It's the loadout. It's the premiums. Okay, here we're just going to ban Yuumi Pantheon. I guess we can be back in this spot where we just play against sea monsters again. But I just feel like this is going to be a terrible matchup. Like I think it's okay with the Viego deck. Like in the previous format, the Viego Shurima deck was one of the positive matchups against Pantheon, but Pantheon also, or I'm sorry, the Viego deck was also playing Quicksands, which does quite a bit of work against their Overwhelm package. Maybe, I don't know. It's like I ultimately just feel fairly worried about playing against these Frozen Thralls. Like, I feel like we should get enough stats with some of these decks, but I don't know. That worries me a little bit. Oh man, are we gonna have to play a Sea Monsters mirror match to get ourselves out of this? Oh, that is scary. All right. I would like to have like a little bit of earlier tentacle generation. I think the tentacle smash is probably fairly bad here. We can hang on to the lookout though. Okay. Well, the tentacle smash is going to be good. It's coming back with a vengeance.
I will die when I am ready.
Like we're just never getting a good tentacle smash against any of his units. Drops the goat. All right.
What do these Lorelai see? What have we here?
Reasonable enough trade. Maybe we can get a good tentacle smash this turn. This depends on what they play. Like if he drops a like a dragon, if he spends all of his mana on something and then we get to drop the smash, that's okay. Yeah, he's just gonna be way too big now.
Runeterra? Truth is no betting.
All right. So I was looking to just drop the eye, which I think is okay. We have some options here. We can get out of this a little bit with like the syncopate and the hired gun, and we get to kind of like pick and choose where things go. Man, I would love to just have like a little bit more on board. Maybe this is what we can do. Let's play the lookout. And then if he goes like tall onto the Saga Seeker, this is a good turn to just like chip in like 5 or 6 damage.
Success gets noticed around here.
So the Fury block on the Tentacle kinda sucks. But Pass just sucks as well. Maybe we just don't attack with Illaoi, and then we just hook in, but we don't have any units for the lookout. I don't like this. Okay. On to the next one. Man, this is such an awkward hand. Alright, let's let him do his thing. He's definitely attacking here.
Make it worth my while. Son of a...
Play something cheap. I want to play Tentacle Smash.
Relish life's bounty.
Alright, this might get us a little closer to it. Make it 3-3. We could go up to 6-6 with the Tentacle Smash. We can play Answered Prayer if we want and get a little bit bigger that way. What if we spend the 5 mana and make this a 7-7? I think I like it. Now the way that this can be bad is if he has a Concerted Strike, but we can Syncopate out of the Concerted Strike if that's what he's bringing. Ooh, no we can't. Hang on. That's too much. Let's just play the little one. Let's see where that gets us. I don't want to make like the Ghost allow we attack this turn. I want to do it next turn, or on a turn where we can Blood in the Water plus Ghost, but we need to get this set up a little bit. So we can't really risk losing these units here. Boop. little swapperooski if you don't mind. Oh no, is he gonna have another card? Please don't have another card. Please? I said please. Okay, Cascade, sure. Oh, come on. Fuck. Alright. Well, pretty confident we're dead now. Let's just move on. I don't think we can recover out of this. Like that was our angle to win, right? If we would have been able to go into the next turn, we Ghost Illaoi, we attack with both. He has a good positive combat on the Tentacle, but she gets to gain +7 or so, and then on the second attack has the potential to get a kill. But with just having the multiple removal spells, we couldn't really deal with that. That was a pretty awkward draw, though. We were really slow out of the gates there. All right, what do we got with this one? Up against the sea monsters. I'm curious on how many like Sea's Voice I want to keep. I think I just want to find our cheaper dudes. We really want to find a tower or whatever the thing is called. Answered Prayer is okay. Sea's Voice back with a vengeance. Okay, let's just go into the next turn and see what happens. We can always play the Answered Prayer next turn. The card I'm curious about is if he drops the 3/2. If he has the 3/2 toss over, or the 3/2 toss lifesteal, then we have to kind of edit how we do the things here. But if he doesn't have it, then we should be okay.
I remember the fact. Do you feel her presence? Do you hear her voice?
Okay, just go ahead and get this one out of the way. Will Answered Prayer. I don't want to lose the Tentacle to any of their removal spells, and so this safely gets us past that. Now we're kind of good to roll into the next turns. Lost an Atrocity. Oop. We're just trying to keep him out of deep now. It's pretty far away. Okay, looks good. We'll have the 5 mana next turn to Sea's Voice plus Twin Disciplines. Should have a pretty strong attack. I like it. I like it.
The sea she calls, the world we answer.
All the Sea's Voices. Okay, going to attack like this. If he says, "Hey, I want to prevent the damage coming through from the tentacle," then this gets us in a spot to where if we attack with the tentacle on the left, then it's not going to be protected. But that sucks. That sucks a lot. I did the mathematics on how much that sucked, and the answer was a lot. maybe the Nagakaboros will do something here. He should be out of vengeances. I saw that he milled one away, right? Opponents played 2 vengeance, and so we have some opportunities there, and we can ghost into this Abyssal Eye if we want to. I'm kind of leaning towards just letting him draw a card,
Ah, a beautiful day for
and then we can deal with it with a hired gun next turn. He's already got 1,000,000 cards in his hand. It's not that scary.
Don't stand in my way.
Is this where we want to spend the Twin Disciplines? Probably not. It's still tempting to try and protect the tentacle, but I think this will be okay. They don't have like a ton of damage-based removal. Like the tentacle should be kind of in the safe range now, but we'll see. It's out of atrocities as well. So this is what I'm talking about, the space you get into with sea monsters, right? He has to kill us with his ground-based units. And we have blockers, right? We can prevent damage with the hired gun. We can prevent damage with any of our other just smaller type dudes. Oh boy. Oh boy. You drew that one fast. Let's see how awful this is for us. Here's what you're dealing with. It's Nagakaboros. Now what do you got for us? Okay. Wave Rider, sure. Ancient Prep. You got the landmark package. Okay. Wonder what he puts on top. Maybe Nautilus? I don't know. So he predicts to the top and then jettisons. So how do we feel now? Like, I think we need to just go ahead and get in front of this thing. As the board stands, we can chunk in damage with syncopates. So we maybe get to hit him for 10 this turn.
I shoot.
We'll have to have a little bit of luck roll through for next turn. Guys, leaves us 1 damage short. Well, no, it would be more than 1. We're getting close, though. We're getting close. Again, I think the key thing to remember here is he should be out of both Vengeance and Atrocity. Oh, he's not playing Nautilus. He's deep now, so Nautilus will be scary next turn. He's going to have the potential to just go full board and kill us. I don't know if we can win this without the Ghost now. But, like, the thing with the Ghost is he would still just be able to block this upcoming turn. There's the Nautilus. So he should have a full board of sea monsters this turn.
Success gets noticed around here.
We can, at least as this board stands, we can block his 2 big boys. Well, Nautilus is the problem block here, right? I guess we can block Nautilus and then syncopate. I think that works. Are we able to do that? The way I'm kind of looking at this is if we can get an 11 health tentacle and then not have Nagakaboros die. well, that didn't quite play out. Well, we can block Nautilus with a Green Glade Lookout unit, though, right? We can give it +2 attack. So let's spawn 2. That's what gets the tentacle into blocking range on the shipwreck orders. Okay. Maybe. Play like a salvage. I don't know if that would be better or worse for us. He hasn't played any of his like Vile Feasts or any of his drains. Yeah. Alright. It is what it is. That was tough. That was a tough set of games. But in the end, I thought that was a much better learning experience than I did in the previous one. I think the Sea Monsters deck is terrible. Yes, we did just lose to it, but the Sea Monsters has like always been tough, and that like again, it still has that concept of he had like a ton of stats on the board. There's a pretty reasonable chance that we could just block out of that, right? We were a little bit short in that game. Our interactivity package didn't really turn up at the right point, right? With our Illaois, we're playing the Memories Cloaks and the Denies and the stuff. We have a lot of ways to get out of those. Will of Ionia or Spirit's Refuge would have been pretty good there, but the only interactive cards we drew were the Syncopates and the Twin Disciplines. And so it kind of is what it is from that point. But there's just like the interactivity with this Nautilus deck is so bad. Like the place was where this deck is good, or when your opponent's just like putting stats on the board and trying to play a curve game. And so if your opponent's like, here's my 2-drop, here's my 3-drop, here's my 4-drop, here's my 5-drop, the Nautilus performs against that exceptionally well. Or if you're playing the damage-based removal spell decks. And so if you're trying to play Ezreal Caitlyn and you haven't picked up Disintegrates yet, and your only way to take a big unit off the board is with a Scorched Earth, those are the places where Nautilus works. But he's historically pretty bad against like a piratesy style aggro decks. I think the Pirates was something like a 70% win rate, or at least a 60. I thought it was maybe pushing 70% win rate against this style of deck. That's probably chipped away a bit with the printing of Undergrowth, but that's traditionally where it has really suffered. And then the matchup against Pantheon is absolutely abysmal. And so I feel like in some of our previous Gauntlet work, we were running into these places where we get into like the pick ban phase, and we realize that we're just going to get 3 bad matchups for one deck. And if you don't really kind of like pick and choose and organize your lineup in a way to where you don't just get smashed like that, then you're just going to run into these spots to where people are like, oh, I just have 3 good matchups against Nautilus. I don't care what you ban. And so I think that's probably the weak link here. I've never been an actual fan of this deck, but I have been wanting to give it a go with the access to Blood in the Water. And I think, at least in my opinion, the Blood in the Water is just better than Atrocity. Like if we're looking at that last game, I think that's exactly the kind of space that spells it out, as to where your opponent builds up their big and gigantic board, and then you have just enough to keep them from killing you, and then the Blood in the Water is what gets the kill. To whereas you can interact a little bit more with Atrocities than you can with the Blood in the Water. And so I'm no Sea Monsters expert. I'm sure someone else can tell a little bit better than I can, but in my opinion, the Blood in the Water is probably just better. And so again, like I'm not really amped about playing Sea Monsters anymore. I don't think it's that great. I'm still really happy with the Illaoi deck. This is a one that we had pretty good success with here. And then the Viego deck. If you haven't seen this yet, I think this is going to be an up and comer. This should start to become pretty popular as a tough deck to deal with. I think, as we saw in the previous meta, every deck just kind of being built and being on the basis of the Sundisk being around, right? Even when the Sundisk kind of like fell out of favor, people's decks were still designed with the Sundisk meta in mind. And so I think towards the end of the previous meta, where we were seeing Viego kind of rise to the top. The thing with Viego is he does have a good matchup against Yuumi Pantheon. The rest of his matchups are fairly okay. I think that what we're going to see now is, instead of being in a meta where all the decks are designed with the Sun Disk in mind, all the decks are going to be designed with Viego in mind. And I'm not exactly sure what that amounts to. I'd have to kind of go and look at some of the matchup data and kind of determine what is strong against him. But I think these Viego decks are where, even if it's like the Legion Deserter version or not, I think the mono Viego Shurima and then the Viego, the Viego plus Noxus is where we're gonna see the current boogeyman of the format, if you will. But nonetheless, I feel like it was a good learning experience. Just don't play sea monsters. I think that'll get anyone pretty far. I'm also kind of curious what a kind of lineup could look like with both Illaoi and Pantheon, and then a little bit of something else in it as well. I think this kind of like protected go tall strategy is quite powerful in the current format, and so probably something there. I think Illaoi has a lot more exploration to be done, and I'm also curious if anything kind of new and interesting for her pops up in the next sets. It kind of feels like the tentacle should be kind of a Shadow ILZ kind of ability. Maybe it should be, maybe it's not. I don't know, but it feels like the thing that's been kind of odd to me up to this point with the release is the Gen flip card isn't in the game, and then the Bard flip card isn't in the game. And I don't know if that's just a function of the intent with the regionalist champions, but I'm pretty sure the Bard flip is a Targon card. And so I'm curious what comes out in the future in terms of interacting with what they released in the earlier sets. And so I don't think you can see it on runeterra.ar. It might be on Mobalytics. Can you see it this way? And this is where we'll stop after this, but Bard, is it like I thought it was a Targon card? Caretaker, nope, it's a factionless one. And so anyways, Traveler's Call and the Gen Grenade Flip or whatever it's called aren't in the game, and I'm curious if those will turn up a little bit in the future. But nonetheless, those were some fun battles. I hope you all enjoyed them. I had a good time with that. And that is going to do it for us today. And so I hope everyone enjoyed the video. You maybe learned how to avoid the sea monsters a little bit better. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.